Welcome back. My name is Kit L.
I'm Andy C.
And I'm Steve M.
And this is Streaming Things, streaming Severance. This time it's episode 5 of season 2, Trojan's Horse.
I like how it's a possessive Trojan.
Yeah, that's true. It's a Trojan's horse.
Yeah.
Which is the most fucking Rickon thing to say ever.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's
My babe.
The horse
My
of a
babe.
Trojan.
Go with me on this.
We're going to be discussing all of the developments in this newest episode and a lot of listeners' messages and stuff about interpretations of episode 4. Things are popping off. We'll do our overall thoughts on this episode and then go scene by scene, play by play into this episode and cap it all off with some fun categories that old hands know about. Our Kier's 3 mandates, our top 3 favorite moments of the episode.
Praise Kier.
And then we'll nominate our Waffle Party recipient, our favorite performance from episode 5.
Who's getting the waffle party?
Who is getting the Waffle Party? Over there on the Patreon at patreon.com/streaming things. We still got Game of Thrones. We still got Arcane. And we've got probably Training Day coming up soon. As well as, what was the Chosen film? What is it cooking? I forget.
Oh, Chosen film is none other than Equilibrium.
Oh, that's for
that's
March,
fire.
though.
That's
We got
for March, yeah.
Varsity Blues is currently on the Patreon site. That is correct. That is correct. So check that out. Become a member. Join our Discord. All kinds of fun community things going on all the time.
All the time.
Watch parties for all of these episodes. A vibrant theorizing community in there.
10Ks in Sedona.
All that stuff. Yeah,
Everything.
Sometimes they meet up and do fun stuff. Have waffle parties. I don't know what they're doing.
Yeah.
God love them. Do
Love
what you
'em.
want.
The fiends are all over the place.
That's right, baby. That's right. We should have been saying Kit L and so on and so forth the entire time for our Severance coverage. Somebody pointed that out in the Discord, and I was like, dang.
That is right. That is
Well,
correct.
I'm glad you brought it up, and it was going to come up in your quarterly performance review.
It's true. Which would take longer than 4 hours, and I do get to order lunch.
We did. That's why I gave you the lunch menu before we hit record.
That's true.
It's going to be a while.
That really did happen. Yeah, if you don't follow me on social media, what the fuck? But also, Kier Egan, played by Mark Geller. So Mark Geller reached out to me. He slid into my DMs.
Ooh.
And he said, I'm so glad you're enjoying the show, Kit L.
I love you.
Which was very funny and very cool. And just wanted to share that was awesome. I also had Dan Erickson's cousin just DM me and say, I'm sliding into your DMs, meaning she saw the video, which I thought was funny. Like, so it's getting better and better. Maybe soon it'll be Adam Scott or Ben Stiller.
Maybe.
God, that'd be great.
That'd be great. One of these days.
Getting closer. I'll take Britt Lauer.
Yeah.
Or
I'll take Rickon.
Tramel Tillman.
Literally any of them.
Tramel Tillman would be the best, though. So, all right, so things happened last week. I don't know. I know that I made some recaps on the TikToks and the Instagrams and stuff, and people were just not having it. And I'm here to push back a little bit. A lot of people are just so obsessed with the idea that Irving has been reintegrated. And I think that is silly.
Reintegrated?
Reintegrated.
Like a mark?
Correct. Like a mark.
Interesting. Okay.
I think that that's silly. I think that you're way off base. I think you need to pump your brakes. I do think, as we see in this episode, we know from what we see in this episode that Ragabi has never done this since Petey, because Mark says, actually, or no, he says, usually. What do you mean? You've only done this once. And it's said in such a matter-of-fact way, as like it's not even presented as new information, because when they first met at the end of season 1, Ragabi said, Mark, let's finish what Petey started, which could have been taken to mean any number of things. That's not hard proof that she's never reintegrated anyone else. But I took it to mean that she hasn't before. And it turns out I was right. So I think that's what they intended you to take from that kind of exchange, is that she's new to this whole thing. The board, the people that at Lumen didn't even know reintegration was possible until Cobell pointed it out after digging into what happened to Petey. So,
Yeah, they were putting their head in the sand on that one for the first season.
So I don't think that now maybe Irving is doing some form of holistic reintegration with the sleep deprivation and stuff that he's doing. That's
I buy that.
possible. But Ragabi is not the person that Irving is talking to at the payphone, because that's too fucking obvious. That's bad writing, and these are not bad writers. Like, why would they hide the identity of someone obvious like that? It would have to be someone new, or there'd be no, they would just say it's Ragabi. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's my theory.
Yeah.
So I do think that that's dead in the water, that kind of thinking. But we did kind of miss some details, or maybe I just am remembering it incorrectly. But like, I don't think we discussed the fact that, well, first off, how are you feeling, Steve?
Feeling good.
A little rough?
Feeling great. No, not rough. I like, honestly, it's funny.
Because obviously everything did happen, and you're like, wow.
Yeah. No, like, I was wrong. All my theories were wrong. It was kind of funny. So just a little bit, a peek behind the curtain. The way that we functionally record our episodes is we record the episode that you're listening to the Sunday before. So almost a full ass week before you guys listen to this, we record it. And after we record it, I usually watch the next episode that night, like not taking notes because I want to.
So you have everything locked in, but also, like fuck.
It's real fresh how wrong you were.
Well, I do like this show so much. I want to watch it without having the burden of like taking notes and always looking for shit. I just want to enjoy it.
Yeah.
And so it was funny, like recording last week's episode and like sitting down for the night, like, ooh, here we go, starting the episode. And in the way it starts off, I'm like, they're going down to the exports hall. Called it. And then and then like the episode progressed, I'm like, well, fuck.
Well, one thing
but it was a fun theory.
We didn't discuss the fact that they likely weren't actually in the snow, though, which hence that explains the TV, and that would explain the lack of a title sequence, because we did get a sort of a title. Severance is in the clouds or whatever, but there's no title sequence.
Right.
But if you look at PD's original map that he drew for Mark, there's an area called team building. And if you think about it, why would Helena need a Glasgow block unless they were on the severed floor somewhere?
Right.
So they have to still be in that building, even though there's snow and shit.
Mm-hmm.
We didn't really discuss that, but that's like a whole ass thing.
I like that theory more than they just went out into the woods somewhere.
Yeah, I think they were in that building, just in a different area.
Mm-hmm.
Otherwise, Helena wouldn't have needed to do any kind of Glasgow or blocking.
I'm all about
It's
that
a
life.
big fucking floor.
Tis. But
damn.
we don't know. The building is big.
What's that room that the X-Men train in? The danger room?
Exactly.
Or whatever? They have a danger room.
Exactly. That's what it is. And a lot of people online are just like really overly concerned about the twins as well. Like, oh, what are those things? And I think we all just kind of wrote it off as either actors or animatronics, but they're like really, oh my God, clones? None of that's going on, I don't think. I think I
think that Milchick specifically addressed the clones, didn't he? Like, we hired these people, didn't he say that?
I thought
he could be lying. He could be lying.
Sure,
yeah.
but I thought he did.
I thought you just said we provided you with the same. So like,
oh, yeah.
I have a crazy new theory.
Okay, T.
# Kit is trying to be right.
I love your little hands.
little T-Rex.
Audio listeners can't see your little T-Rex hands are like going a mile a minute.
I'm doing this thing here. However, I haven't actually even thought about this very long, I have no idea what I'm about to say. So caveat to that. But I'm just cogitating. I'm putting things together. I'm, whatever. Things are propagating in my mind. What if, how Mark always kind of seemed strangely important? Because he's like, oh, he's working on Cold Harbor. We need him to finish that. Maybe it has to do with Gemma, and that's why, because their connection is why he's important there. But also Cobell was like really like living next door, watching him specifically. What if Mark is some sort of Kier Egan DNA?
I think I talked something about that last season.
Did we?
Where like I said, like he's like some not exactly what you just said, but kind of like he's the Kier Egan reborn type character.
I think you're making that up. You're trying to steal my thunder right now. I really resent.
I remember when I said that.
I really resent this.
I know
because you're a bitch. Remember, and you'll take
107 little bitch.
Yeah.
I feel like maybe they have like put the DNA. And he raised from a baby to be the next Kier or something. I don't know. I don't know. But
I'm into that.
Yeah, I'm into that.
I fucks with that.
Yeah, you know what I mean? Because that's why she was like so on Mark specifically. I don't know how that would work though. Like Devin would have to be Dieter, and but I mean he does have a sibling.
There's
you know what I mean?
Names begin with D.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Interesting though.
Just waiting for that.
I keep seeing people saying that Rickon is an Egan.
Rickon?
Mm-hmm. Yep. You guys haven't seen this online?
No.
He's been Kier the whole time.
No, I think that's silly.
Yeah.
Why would they say that?
I agree with you. I don't know, something about like how he doesn't want to be like his dad and stuff, but
he did have that line, yeah.
There isn't a ton to it, but it'd be funny.
I think this kind of thing happens with a show like this where you get a little too in the weeds and I was almost really mean for a second. I don't want to do that. But yeah, like reading the comments on my video, I got a little like jaded, because it's like one guy was just so furious that I said that Irving was not reintegrated. And he's like, you think you're so smart. It doesn't even make any sense. First off, John Turturro, way too important of an actor to just write off the show.
He's not being written off the show.
And I was like, what the No, I wanted to say it this way, but I didn't. But I'm essentially said, what the fuck are you talking about? Like, how do you get logically a leap from he's not reintegrated to, well, I think he's still going to be on the show. Of course he is. There's like a million variables in between what you're saying here. Like, I don't even know how you're logically connecting the two things. Mm-hmm. Outie Irving is a really important character that's becoming more prominent. And there's so many other things you can do other than he's reintegrated. And obviously, even if he was reintegrated, what the fuck would that do to keep him on the show?
Yeah.
Like, we already know his character is hip to some of the goings on of Lumen. We don't need to have him have memories of that to stay in. But it never even occurred to me, and maybe Steve, I think you did say this and I just wasn't understanding. He's purposely painting that painting so many times to get that to Annie.
Yeah.
Right?
Mm-hmm.
Like in the same way that Mark was doing the after image. That's why he's painting that over and over. And that's maybe obvious, but like I hadn't either. Like that's why he's doing it repetitively. Yeah. He's not obsessing over it. He's doing that on purpose.
Right. That's what I was trying to, maybe I didn't communicate it well. That's why he's like staying up super late. He's trying to like get that image somehow in his brain. So if Annie falls asleep, he sees that image. He's trying to use the sleep consciousness.
I did not understand that's what you were saying.
Pass messages on. Now, how he got the Egan message specifically, which 100% is the case, because we talked about the letters forming Egan, and that's how he figured out that she's an Egan. I didn't talk about this when I brought that theory, but you can even see Helly's face for like a brief second when the letters start forming into the screen.
I can't see it. It's like one of those
it's like
images.
It's like this tight on her face.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it's like lips, a little bit of the side of her head, and then above the eyes. So I don't know exactly how he's getting that message. Maybe that's the message. I don't know. That's why I love the show. Is it's so well written, and there's a ton of different conjecture holes you can drive down to.
Yeah, and it's not released all in once, so we can't just binge it and be like, okay, well, let's find out what the fucking mystery was.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? Like, I love theorizing.
Oh, it's Devin the whole time.
We lost so much when we lost a lot of the week-to-week stuff, and I think the streaming services are realizing that. Mm-hmm. They're trying to kind of get out of it, but now people are so spoiled by the binging that they kind of get backlash when they do that. Mm-hmm. So Netflix will do like the part 1 and part 2 of a season. Like they'll just try to have it both ways as much as they can.
Yeah.
But yeah, this has been so fun. And I don't mean to be condescending at all. It's just some of the theories. When people are mean to me about stuff I know is, first off, I don't know why you're fucking with me. I can watch the whole show whenever I want. And I watch TV for a living. So like, I don't know why you're like being so mean to me specifically about this. Like, be careful there. But yeah, people were like, oh, fucking TikTokers. They just make shit up. And then that'll get like 192 likes. And I'm like, I resent being ratioed on something I know I'm right about because I've already seen the next episode, you motherfucker. But yeah, so I'm a little butthurt about that. I've been reading mean stuff all day.
Yeah. There's one thing that happened in this episode that there's a couple
and Steve tried to take my theory.
Yeah, sorry.
I remember when Steve said what you said.
He's going to edit the show and it'll be like, I have a theory, and it's just Steve.
Well, apparently no one listens to me because you guys are like, oh, John Turturro is painting the painting.
No. So you actually clipped that part into a reel. So I happen to know what you said was, we've seen him sending messages to his innie in the past, and that manifests in the form of the paint oozing. But you didn't like say, which is why he's repetitively painting the painting, so that image will come up, which is like just one more step. And Andy and I are maybe just dumb, but like,
we didn't talk about it. I didn't break it down like that in that episode because we'd already talked about it.
You broke it down like that before?
Yeah, in the first season. Yeah.
I need you to timestamp it and send it to me later.
Let me activate Petty Steve mode.
But also, I was giving you your kudos. I was like, I think what you were saying is actually this, and it's brilliant. But yeah, neither of us picked up on that.
That's so funny.
It's a good idea that I had, though.
Hey, man, up top. Up top.
But I'm so sorry. What were you saying?
Oh, I was just saying, like, talking about people who were mean about specific theorizing thing. There's a thing that happened in the whole, like, Helena isn't Helly R. There was, like, an example that people were like, that's a clue as to why that's actually Helena. And I was like, no, it's not. And people were really like mean about like, yo, it obviously is stupid. But then in this episode, Helly does the same fucking thing. And it's like, no, that's just what Helly does. Watch the show.
Oh, what thing though?
Turning on the computer.
Oh, really? They were saying
there's a shot where Helena in the previous episode struggles to find the on button in her computer, which is behind her desk. So it looks like she's like kind of flipping around and people are like, oh, she doesn't know where the switch is. It's obviously Helena, duh. But then if you watch Helly in this episode, she does the same exact thing and can't find the button for the same amount of time. Yeah.
I wonder if it's just the actors like, where the fuck is it?
Yeah, well, I mean,
or like when you're trying to plug in your phone charger and behind the bed without looking.
I've plugged in my phone charger 1,000,000 times. I'm still struggling to this day to charge it.
Get a USB in first try. I never noticed that, but that would have been a fun clue. Like I get what they're saying.
Totally.
But it was it's just like, because some people take it a little too far. You're right. And they're just like, fucking idiot. It's clearly, it's like, no, what are we doing? We're watching a show we all like. Why are we getting mean about things? You know?
You're being mean to me, Steve. And I'm retaliating to the wrong audience. These are my actual
Wait, that was you commenting? You made a burner account to troll me?
Yeah. I'm just thinking, it's funny because I'm kind of like venting and losing my shit to the really nice podcast people after being harassed all night by the TikTok people. You motherfuckers. And they're like, unsubscribe from Patreon.
Yeah, our listeners are nice. The fiends are great. TikTokers, holy shit.
They struggle.
That's why I don't play that game.
I just can't wait till Friday when they watch the episode I've already seen. And I go, ha!
Eat a dick! Screen grab all those comments and then call them out one by one.
Well, because like we record the podcast. We have not seen episode 6 yet. We don't cheat like that. And I make the videos and stuff before as well. But then I get to watch them like as people are responding to my theories, and I know whether or not I'm right already. I get to read, and I'm like, oh, I wish I could just
get them.
I would be in a lot of trouble.
You can't go back, because then they're going to be like, touch grass, nerd.
Yeah. That's true. You can't feed trolls.
It's just the time I got ratioed that's really bothering me. But anyway, that's episode 5. Trojan's horse is popping off, man. We got more questions than answers as usual, but I can't wait to discuss this, guys. Andy, I'm curious now that we've kind of addressed the fallout, because we did a lot of surmising last week, and they just kind of shockingly just ran with it immediately. Yeah. It didn't seem like anything was amiss. And I was like, whoa. But what did you think watching this episode?
I think this episode is frustrating. It's juicy, but it's frustrating. It suffers pretty greatly from the just fucking stop and talk about things issue that a lot of, dramatic television has, where it's like, Mark's like, oh, I don't want to talk. And Helly's like, just fucking listen to me. And I want to be like, just fucking stop and listen to her, man. Have the fucking conversation. So it's really frustrating in that regard. I think that maybe partially Mark behaving the way that he is like a side effect of his reintegration. And I haven't gotten to like go back and rewatch or anything, but I'd be curious to see, like, is he not wearing his back brace anymore? And like, is he hunching more as he's walking and stuff? Like, how much of outie Mark is kind of seeping into any Mark at this point? We've gotten like the visions and stuff, but whatever. I thought that Milchick was a fucking powerhouse in this episode. I thought he was incredible. He had this awesome, the silent Bob effect is what I call it in here, but it's basically like he's never cursed before. And so when he says fuck, it's like, oh my God, silent Bob never talks. So when he finally does, you fucking listen. So to hear Milchick like talk like a human being, it's like, oh my God, like got chills.
He usually uses such big words.
Does.
Colloquially, I meant, but yeah, I think this is a good episode. I was just frustrated for, dramatic reasons.
Yeah, I get that. Steve?
I actually really like this episode. So if last episode was the one where I'm like, this doesn't feel like Severance to me, I'm going to have to really think about how I feel about it later. This was a return for me, at least. Like this is the Severance I like, where I like it, the rules, the world makes sense. And even though like all of my surmising from the previous episode and turned out to be completely wrong, and everything I was like, I don't like this necessarily happened to actually happen, I think they dealt with the fallout of it pretty well. And I was back in. I was immediately like, okay, what are we doing here? I'm glad you brought up Milchick, because I really enjoy what they're doing with him this season, how they're kind of giving him this hint of humanity to him, and he's making that character even more and more interesting. He's one of my favorite characters on the show, honestly. I love him so much. But Britt Lauer is a powerhouse as well, like going from outie Helena, who's just like hey, I was trying to do the thing, but these people keep trying to kill me. Fuck them, they're animals. And then you go back to Helly, who's just trying to get back with Mark. I actually do like I totally get what you're saying, Andy, because a lot of shows do that where it's characters like, just fucking talk, guys. Why aren't you guys talking? Just talk. I think this show has done something that justifies it, where Mark honestly can't trust that that's her anymore.
Mm-hmm.
Like that's like he's still kind of fucked up about, you know, I slept with that person who is not you. That's weird. I don't like that. That he probably feels a little bit of a victim as well, but also guilt that he did that
lost
to
his
her.
virginity to an imposter.
Yeah, and he doesn't know what he can trust. And the fact that he's like, I'm not going to talk to you because I talked to Helena. She knows everything. Now they know everything we were doing. And it's like, I kind of like that framing. Like if you're going to do the whole like characters aren't going to talk to each other thing, I think this is a pretty good justification as to why they aren't talking.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if this episode really made me retroactively like episode 4 more. I'm still kind of ruminating on how I feel about that episode, but I think I did enjoy this. Like if those are the decisions you're making, I do like what they're going. They've put their best foot forward and they're dealing with the ramifications really, really well. And lastly, that last final shot, that last final scene of Outie Mark seeing Gemma miss Casey down on the severed floor was just, and the way it ended was such a, oh no, I want more, please. I feel so sorry for that guy in that moment. But Kit, what about you?
I really enjoyed this episode. I've never seen a bad episode of Severance. I did think it was curious though. Like I was really, you know, we talk so much. I think I was the highest on episode 4 of the 3 of us. I think like that's a genuine question. I don't recall, but
yeah, I don't know.
You know, I was like really eager to get in to see, because you threw me for a loop with like, where's the TV plugged in? Where did it fucking come from? Why was there no title sequence? You know, but there were so many things that happened. I was like, you can't make that not something that happened. That'd be ridiculous. That's wild. You know,
that's why I love what you brought up about how there's what was the room called?
Team building. The
team building. Like if there's another floor and they just did everything, but in that floor, that for me, that like makes the shape a little bit better. My brain can process what happened more.
Yeah.
But if they really were in a park outside, that's where I'm like,
well, that's why the world's highest waterfall wasn't that big, because they're in the building. Yeah, I think some interesting. I understand what Andy's talking about. It is like you're waiting so much for the real Heliar to come back, and then you still have to deal with this fallout. But also from a character perspective, it makes complete sense. I think they're setting up some interesting things. We've got, honestly, they're really poor managers in general. But in my mind, another thing that a lot of the audience feels, the vibe I'm getting, is there's a lot of conjecture over what Helena Egan's goal is in spying. What information is she trying to get out of them?
Grab shooping?
I don't think she was spying at all. The way that I read it is that she is rebelling from Lumen and hates her father. When she's laying in the tent and talking to Mark and says, I really don't like who my outie is. That's Helena that's saying that. And I think she's being genuine. Mm-hmm. So, and we see her watching the security footage and she just wants that little piece of life that her Annie has been able to get already that she's never experienced.
She watches Mark in this
love
episode.
And tenderness. And yeah. Mm-hmm. Now people read that as like, oh, that's how that was her end. She knew that was, I'm like, I don't read it that way at all. I think this is a character going against her family legacy and sneaking in there under the guise of spying. But she just wanted to fuck Mark and like, you know what I mean? Like experience normal love and try to be one of the gang. And that's what I took, at least, right? You guys agree?
Yeah, absolutely.
I think there's way more to Helena than we know.
And a lot of people are like, oh, she's pregnant now. She wanted a baby. And that's where I got he's Kier reincarnated.
That's what I mean. That makes sense with all the baby imagery that's in the baby title
stuff.
Sequences.
Yeah, baby. So I'm saying up top.
Oh.
She preggers?
Oh, behave.
I was watching the title sequence. And I was like, there's a lot of babies. Oh, he's baby Kier. He's baby Kier. But yeah, I think this is great stuff. So anyway, I think she's rebelling. We know that Cobell's rebelling. She's Cobelling. And I think Milchick is on his way after the horrible insult of, the Black Kier disrespect that they did to him.
The recanonicalization?
He's on his way to also rebelling. That's why I said they're poor managers, because like they're pissing everybody off.
Yeah.
This whole thing is unraveling wildly. But yeah, really interesting stuff. I can't wait to get into. You guys ready?
So ready.
Let's do it. But before we do that, let's hear from a quick word of one of our sponsors. This episode of Streaming Things is brought to you by BetterHelp. It's time for a new year, new me. That's what everybody says, right? What do you want your 2025 story to be? Every January brings you 365 blank pages waiting to be filled. You are the writer. And so maybe this year you're ready for a plot twist, a Shyamalan twist. Maybe there's a part of your story you've been wanting to revise. Life isn't about resolutions that fade by February. We know the gyms are crowded in January and they're pretty much open by March. Let's not be that person. It's about picking up the pen and becoming the author of your own life. So think of therapy as your editorial partner, helping you write new chapters and create meaningful stories you deserve to live. When I talk to somebody about my wants, my fears, my hopes, my dreams, my traumas, I feel like I can get clarity on my goals, what it is I'm actually trying to achieve. So give BetterHelp a try. If you've never tried therapy before, it's a really great start to this journey. BetterHelp is fully online, making therapy affordable and convenient, serving over 5 million people worldwide. There's a diverse network of more than 30,000 credentialed therapists with a wide range of specialties. You can easily switch therapists at any time and at no extra cost if things aren't working out. So write your own story with BetterHelp. Visit BetterHelp.com/streamingthings today to get 10% off your first month. That's BetterHelp, HELP.com/streamingthings. And we're back to do the full recap and review. Apple TV Plus describes episode 5, Trojan's Horse, thusly. Tensions emerge after the team suffers a loss. Outie Mark makes a breakthrough. So illuminating.
Mm-hmm.
2 sentences. We've reverted.
Yeah, we're going backwards.
We're going back, yeah.
It's interesting what happens here because it starts off with this kind of almost cold open of the O&D department. It's got Felicia and her homie. But it's really ominous. And this doctor comes in. He says, "Do you have them?" And they hand him these little metal instruments. I guess they look like
dental instruments,
3D printed or something. Yeah. But what's interesting is that he's whistling "The Wreck of Edmund Fitzgerald," which is a Gordon Lightfoot song. Mm-hmm. And it's a real Canadian vessel that sank in 1975 and the entire crew of 29 men died. Is what that song's about. The SS Edmund Fitzgerald. What do you make of this, Steve? I noticed, I can tell you caught this as well.
Oh, no, I was just going to tell the funny story. So we have the screeners, and for the first time, I don't know if you guys caught on to this, but for the first time since we started watching these screeners, it came up with that hey, all the effects and sound design and all that stuff for this episode aren't finished yet. So just heads up. And so when I first watched this episode a week ago, there were no subtitles. So the song was playing and it was driving me nuts because I knew it.
Oh, you're a Gordon Lightfoot fan?
No, I wouldn't say I'm a Gordon Lightfoot fan. I just know I've heard that song before and I was trying to what is that? And I was trying to Shazam it, but Shazam wasn't working. And so when I rewatched it again last night, the subtitles had been added finally. And I'm like, oh, thank God. It's The Wreck of the Edmund Fitzgerald. I knew it. Gordon Lightfoot.
Yeah, I mean, I didn't know at all. I just caught... I was like, I bet I should Google that since they put the effort to put that into the subtitles. Yeah. And yeah, that's what it is. So what that means, maybe Lumen's going down. I don't know. Or it's also funny that he's whimsically whistling this tragic.
Well, I mean, it's a shipwreck where, you said 29 people went down in the depths. He's literally about to go down to the depths of Lumen, going to the export hall. He's going down. Maybe all these people who supposedly died are now down at the bottom of the sea.
Yeah, but he could have been whistling Nelly. We go down, down, baby, you're straight in a rainbow.
That guy's not listening to Nelly.
Jimmy, Cocoa Puff. Andy got me. But he takes the dark elevator down. Mm-hmm. And then we get the title sequence with the babies.
At this point, I was still I think I got it. I think I called it. Hell yeah, baby.
What did you think again was going to happen?
I was theorizing that Irving went looking for
that he was down there and that was all fake because, okay.
And I thought that's what, and then of course the rest of the episode had well.
You know what I'm sad we didn't pick up on? Because I'm only 107, but you guys are smart.
I'm a 115.
It's the line, the last line.
I did.
The last line of Irving to Dylan.
Just hang in there?
Yeah.
It's the poster.
Yeah, we've seen the episode now. You're not.
No, I said that last episode.
Did he?
Yeah. What did you say? Hang on.
Hang in there, just like the poster in the break room.
Oh, he says that too. Okay. No, I didn't clock that.
Just hang in there.
Huh?
Well, I'm glad you said that.
Because when he feels behind
here's
the thing.
Because now you guys have me second guessing, because I did know that, because I've pointed out the just hang in there poster to you guys a bunch. I feel like I said it to you, but it could have been another instance of us theorizing off the mic, and I said it then. So I'm putting a marker to make sure I did say it last episode, so I don't sound like a total asshat.
It's okay, Dylan.
Just hang in there, like the poster you're on.
Oh yeah,
remember that?
Yeah. Because when at the end of this, and there's a big reveal behind the poster, I was like, "Fuck!" That's the kind of thing we would get normally. Like it's from the poster, that you know. But I was like, whoa. Dang.
I was like, why is he looking behind the poster? I don't know what's going on.
You're
here.
just now realizing why he looked?
Mm-hmm.
It's because that's Irving's words to Dylan is right before he got taken away.
Just hang in there.
Dylan, just hang in there.
I remember when Steve came up with that.
Thanks, Andy.
There's so many layers of sarcasm. I don't know what's going on now.
I did notice watching the title credits this time around, because I think maybe off air we were talking about like, what are those baby bottles for in the opening title credits animation? It's the reintegration.
You also talk to your wife about this show a lot.
I do.
So you want to be real careful looking at me all crazy about shit you said.
I mean, people,
who knows?
People comment all the time how she's a female Chris. So.
That's got to be weird. Or is it awesome?
She's always like, pretty cool, man. It's pretty cool.
You know what I'm saying?
You want a prone bone? That's what she says all the time.
Yeah. Mark is eating pills. That's what I meant to say. I called him Mills because that's Mark on the pills. Now, are these reintegration pills?
Totally.
That Ragabi's giving him?
The meds that Petey wasn't taking. What's
with the, like, you know how there's like the Monday through Sunday pill case things, but it's like blacked out. Like, doesn't matter what fucking day. Like, that seems not helpful. Like, the one he's got is just a bunch of like anonymous ones. Like, no, that's not helpful. What day is it? But he's like, nom, nom, nom on all those pills. And I think drinking like a vitamin immunity shot or something. And Devin calls to ask about the weekend thing. And it's at this point that I was like, oh, Steve's cooked. And he's like, oh.
You're ruining it for me, Devin.
I was like, oh, he's like, it went great, I guess. My innie fell off a rope because he had like a little injury or something, I guess. Or maybe explaining why he was wet.
Is that what they tell you, huh?
Yeah. And she knows about his attempt to like burn shit into his eyeballs. He's like, oh, it's going okay.
Can't get it to last long enough.
And Rakabi's living in there. You need to get the dryer fixed. You need to get the fuck out of here.
Dude, his line is like, or you could just not live here.
I get it though. Like, you're letting somebody crash there. They're going to start like judging you on the kind of snacks you got and shit.
Yeah. What are you doing during the day?
Yeah. Why don't you fix the dryer?
2-ply TP and shit. He's pissed.
I get it.
Yeah, they got 4-ply up on the Ortbo.
They do. They do. But yeah, she's like, I can't risk going in and out. We might be being watched, you know. It depends on how well you're doing it. So,
but we learn here that he's only remembered the one thing, which I guess was when he first woke up on the table. That's the only thing he's remembered since reintegration. And Ragabi's like, well, hey, maybe your innie has remembered something else, which maybe I assume is a reference to the gem of vision it saw. He saw. Oh God, I sound like an Egan.
Yeah. Helena shows up to work with Natalie and Mr. Drummond. And another interesting thing is we've never seen Helena outside this building. Maybe she's not allowed to leave. Which would support.
We've seen her outside briefly.
Where?
Well, at least in the parking
Standing
lot.
at the curb with Cobell.
Oh, well, like quite literally on the property still, though. You know, it's just interesting.
Mm-hmm.
That's true.
She's always like in the office or at the gala. And then obviously an employee there when she's posing as Helly. It's weird.
Squatters' rights.
Yeah. But she shows up to work. She's with Natalie and Mr. Drummond. And he says an awesome word, contretemps.
Contretemps. An unexpected minor occurrence.
Which, why is he giving Seth shit about using unnecessarily big words when he says shit like contretemps?
Maybe he takes
he's a hypocrite.
He takes umbrage with the fact that here's this young, upstart, sexy looking man who also has big words. And he's like, well, I don't like that.
That was my thing.
Let me have my thing. I'm fun. I'm frolic.
This is quite the contretemps.
Also, I'm Bernie Sanders, apparently. James Egan doesn't know. So they haven't told him what's going on here. But don't worry, your tempers will rebalance quickly. That's an important line, I think.
There was a weird thing where he's like, your tempers will rebalance quickly. Some residual trauma is expected, but we can arrange another obligement session.
Yeah, what's an obligement session? We're going to find out, I bet.
Is it like the opposite of wellness where it's like, your outie once tried to cut your fingers off. Or your innie, sorry, your innie. Your innie loves Mark.
I think it has to do with whatever cultish things they do to quell these tempers and make them all weird robots, culminating in the revolving.
Eric actually said this to me where she thought it was interesting that innies get a wellness session, outies get an obligement session. And it's like, ooh, there's some classism going on with those terms.
Because they're obliged to do stuff. I still think there's something there. Like there's the propaganda of wellness and then like the rich people like, I have to do something I don't want to do. Maybe there's something there to the verbiage. But we find out that Mark's at 81% on the Cold Harbor file.
He's so close.
So close. And Helly's like, I'm not going back down there. She tried to kill me the one time and then another one tried to fucking kill me the last time.
They're fucking animals.
And they're like, you're definitely going back down there. So just put that in your pipe and smoke it.
Well, it won't be you. It'll be your innie that's down there.
Yeah. They're so quick to point that out. And is she pretending to not want to go back? I'm not sure. There. I wrote that as a note, but
I think in the moment she doesn't want to go back.
She almost genuine fear.
Yeah, there's genuine fear. I think we talked in episode 2 when she gets into the elevator at the end that she looks scared to go down there. I think she is scared to go down there.
Especially for
that
actual Helly.
She was pretending to be
right.
So she was like nervous she was going to be found out and stuff. Maybe then.
But I mean, I think even though like up to this point we know Helena is, kind of a rapscallion.
Yeah.
I still completely understand why she would think that. Like these people keep trying to fucking kill me. I don't want.
Yeah.
They're animals. I don't want to go down there.
But whatever's going on is so much more important than her life, his own daughter, because they say your father encouraged it. Don't worry about that. He wants you to go down there. Okay.
Well, it's interesting. Drummond calls him father as well. He doesn't say your father. She says father supports
Very
this,
true.
and he says father encourages it. So it's
Interesting.
like, dang, is he going to? Probably
Is that-
not. But his name's Drummond. But
Yeah. Is it like a cult thing? Like you're all my children, or is that her brother?
yeah,
Because does Natalie ever say father? I don't think so.
Not that I recall.
I don't think so. Maybe that's just her brother. Be weird. Miss Huang greets Helly R. And Helly R says, who the fuck are you? Because I had forgotten, like, this is the real Helly. Like, we have to watch all this shit again. Like,
Yeah.
seeing Huang for the first time and all that stuff. And I was like, oh, shit.
I tell they filmed her entrance into the floor too because it's on handheld camera, so it's shaky. Like I just like that like visual sort of indicator that something's different now.
Yeah.
And Helly storms into Milchick's office and he explains, Dylan's in there, Mark's in there. He explains it's called the Glasgow block. Again, we did see Glasgow on the list of things that could happen in the control room amongst Beehive and Clean Slate and all kinds of other shit.
MDR together again.
Look at this.
And then Dylan looks at her and is like, you're a fucking Egan? Like she's getting hit with all sorts of
Yeah, I mean,
out of context information that's
think
got to
about
be
it. She
confusing.
got tackled on stage at the gala, woke up being drowned in a river, and now this. And
then Miss Huang.
I feel and I feel so bad for her, especially the way that Mark's treating her, which I understand Mark just doesn't trust her. He's got sexually assaulted. Like there's weird shit going on in his life, but like I feel so bad for Helly because she's like back with the gang. She never got to have that. Like, so where were you? So what happened with you? Like she didn't get any closure to any of that. It's just like, what is going on? You know?
Well, someone please tell me.
Yeah. And Dylan just demands to know where Irving is because he has so much guilt over his buddy Irving. He's been permanently dismissed, right? And have you ever heard the story of...
Excuse me.
Have you ever heard the story of the Grappling? And they're like, what?
Let's assume we haven't.
Yeah, Mark's great. It's a noble tradition, right? And he gives him some Swedish horse shit.
Yeah, the king of Sweden would go incognito amongst the people to know their true grievances, and he would wear an old robe, a grakshuben.
Yeah.
It smells like Swedish horse shit.
Miss Egan was carrying on this tradition.
Yeah.
And then they're like, okay, so is he ever going to come back? And he is not.
He's on an elongated cruise voyage.
Oh, some actual honesty, which isn't true. But so they're very upset about Irving. but mostly
fucking
Dylan.
murderers.
Yeah, because Dylan's like, you straight up murdered Irving. Yeah. Milchick's like, no, he's on a cruise. No, you murdered him. I don't give 3 dry fucks what his outie's doing. And then poor Helly's just in this sort of state of like, wait, she stole my life. She stole my body.
Yeah.
That's awful.
And now they go back to MDR. There's only 3 desks in there. So Irving is not going to be replaced.
What the abominable fuck? If you're looking for feedback, I fucking hate it.
And Irving he's been removed from the group photo even.
Yeah.
It's wild. And then Milchick says, careful, Dylan. I'd hate to rescind certain privileges, because he meets with his conjugal visits with his wife. And Dylan demands a funeral for Irving. I want a funeral. And eventually Milchick gives in. He says, thank you. And then he looks at Mark and goes, not you. Because Mark didn't stand up for him.
Yeah, because
Milchick, quick.
Yeah, Milchick looks at Mark and it's like, is this MDR's position that you want a funeral? And Mark's like, yeah, sure, as long as it doesn't take the whole day.
Yeah.
You know? Well said.
He raises the divider. Thank you, not you.
Yeah.
But Mark starts coughing.
He does. He's getting that reintegration sickness. And then Milchick radios Miss Huang and says, ready a bereavement kit for MDR. Mark's in the bathroom, throwing water on his face and neck and just really struggling with all the new information that he's getting. Helly says she's coming in, which is an inverse of what happened when Helly was in the bathroom. Mm-hmm.
He's
in season 1.
Written a message on his arm.
Yeah, that'd be funny. And she's like, you couldn't tell that she wasn't me? Which is, I get it. Like, that hurts. But at the same time, like, fuck no, dude. What?
Yeah, it literally was you.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
She's like you or you're like her. I don't know who you are, I guess.
And he's like, it doesn't matter. And I said, this is where I wrote, poor Helly, right?
Yeah.
She says, it's not my fault. My outie hijacked me.
It's true. Mm-hmm. And then they've got a dot matrix printer. That's what they're using.
Fuck yeah.
Before we move to that real quick, this is the part where I was like, please just fucking talk to each other. Because she's like, what happened to you up there? He's like, it doesn't matter. And she's like, do you want to hear what happened to me? He's like, no, not really. It's like, God damn it, just fucking talk. You know what I mean?
It is frustrating. But again, he doesn't know for sure that that's his old Helly yet. And also he can't say, even if it is her, what's he going to, hey, we fucked, but it wasn't you. My bad.
Yeah.
Like, that's so awkward.
I know.
So awkward.
The juice.
But also, what's crazy is when he gets fully reintegrated, he's going to be in love with 2 people at the same time.
Or is he going to be in love with 3 people? 2 Hellies? Or 4 people, a Miss Casey and a Gemma. I don't know.
He's like, I need you to be Helly in the streets, Helena in the sheets.
Jesus.
I mean, yeah, that's not appropriate, but I thought bereavement was for innies who die on the floor is one of the funniest lines I'll ever hear Huang say. And he's like, just mind your business, right? I disagree with having this funeral. It makes them feel like people.
And you can tell he's not.
I don't like feedback, unwarranted.
Who allowed you to talk to me, little girl?
Goddamn right.
Your first performance review is today, right? That was a question.
You focus on the mournful signage.
That's right. And then we get to the actual funeral. And one of my favorite details of this scene is that his lifespan in the background.
I was going to see if you saw this.
It's from quarter 870 to quarter 882. So fucking good. It's measured in the amount of time he's spent in the office because it's his entire life. Quarter? They've got little 3D printed Irving cups. Now, if we could each take 9 seconds to contemplate his life.
And then we have a quick word from Dylan G.
Dylan gives the eulogy, and it's quite sweet.
Yeah, he put the dick in contradiction.
That's right. He mostly has nothing but regrets for not sticking with his friend there at the end. And Milchick says,
I love the little bit of the prank that Irving put on him, where Dylan made something about them watering down the toner, so he put a little bit of toner in the in his water.
Oh, I forgot about that.
He stopped me first from chipping a sip because he didn't want to hurt me, but I did accidentally take a sip of it later.
I forgot he said that. And Milchick says, that was nice. A little sugar with your usual salt. Mm-hmm. Then he brings in Irving's fruit head.
The top of which features the Black Beauty watermelon from the country of Malaysia.
I love also the bit where Huang was really excited to play her theremin. I feel like theremin works best in moderation. You can play it for me later. But Mark goes to leave the funeral early. And Dylan's upset about this. So he's like, did you tell her you're Mrs. Casey's wife yet? To tell her about Miss Casey's your wife yet? There we go. Jesus, not your Miss Casey's wife. Did you tell her you're Miss Casey's wife?
Whoa, Mark, what?
Yeah. And he's like,
yeah, pretty crazy.
He's like upset, basically. Helena told them everything that we're doing. That's how they know. They know about everything. There's no point to any of it anymore.
Yeah, because he storms out because he's a little taken aback that Dylan kind of threw that on him. So he tries to leave. She chases after him and she's like, yo, man, what are we going to do? Are we going to go map some more hallways? What are we going to do? And he's like, no, it's over.
They're smarter than us.
They're smarter than us. I told Helena everything and she told them everything. They know what we're up to. It's over.
I don't even know that you're you right now. And she says, you just have to trust me.
Not everything here is a lie. This is real. Us, we're real.
It feels like she's kind of breaking through a little bit, but not quite because he's still got that shame and that confusion.
Well, when she drops that, stop being a fucking asshole, it's like, oh, it's definitely Helly. You know what I mean?
And then Milchick gets a performance review as department chief, his first one. But he wants a word with Natalie first. And I didn't get to talk to you guys about the episode where he's presented with blackface Kier.
You weren't here for that.
But that was fucking crazy.
Yeah.
And what's so crazy about that scene is you've got two, like Natalie and Milchick are both black. They both dealt with this, but they can't communicate about it in any meaningful way because the board is always listening, or maybe not. Like there's never any safety there. So they both got to pretend to feel grateful for it. Milchick doesn't know how to respond. And Natalie's got that pained, frozen face. Like, isn't it great?
Yeah. I was telling Andy on that episode that it looks like Natalie's being get outed.
Yeah. In the sunken place.
That's what it was, Andy.
The sunken place.
We couldn't remember what that was. We were like,
we called it the way down deep.
The way down deep.
Jesus Christ. I'll never leave again. Yeah. And, but he wants a word with Natalie and he asks how she felt when she received the paintings. And she's like, we really got to get in there.
Mr. Drummond.
Yeah.
He's a calling.
They're on the level though. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
We cut back to Dylan who's staring at the fruit head.
Sorry I let you down.
And that's when he remembers hang in there was what Irving said. And he checks behind the poster of a hang in there.
I'm just like, whoa, he has his fucking spidey sense.
How'd he know?
And Irving had left instructions to the dark elevator. So Steve, you weren't entirely wrong. The last thing that we saw Irving going to do prior to episode 4 did come back in a big way.
I appreciate that.
He went there.
I was mostly wrong.
Steve, I know how committed you are to this podcast. Did you type down? Yes. I knew it.
What, the instructions?
Hit left, right.
Do you guys want to know the instructions to get to the elevator?
Yeah.
From O&D, first turn right, all the way down the hall and turn right. Turn right, turn left, down a long hall and turn left. Turn left, turn right. Right, left, left, right, left, right, left. Down a long hall and turn right. Then turn left, right, turn right. One more time. And all the way down a long hallway.
Jesus Christ.
That just speaks to the labyrinthian
A, B,
hallway.
A, B, start, select.
Just do the contra code.
That's crazy though. He's going to go to the dark elevator, guys. I'm excited about this. Mr. Drummond's performance review is hilarious. This will take anywhere from 2 to 6 hours. If we feel like it's going to take longer than 4, we will order lunch. And Milchick says, well, I certainly hope it's not going to take longer
Here's
than that.
the menu.
Oh, fuck.
And it's based off how many atonements and approbations are in his review.
Correct.
Interesting.
But we get some, I think, really important verbiage in this. Cold Harbor will be among the greatest moments in history of this planet. That's how important what Mark is doing is to them. So hearing that, what does that do to the context or your prediction of what Cold Harbor is?
I still feel like they're doing some sort of like cloning of their personality. You know what I mean? Like some Soma shit, if you guys are familiar with that game.
I know the pill, Soma, the muscle relaxer. I've abused them.
Basically, consciousness cloning is what I feel like is going on.
Okay.
Yeah, I think there's something going on in terms of keeping a consciousness alive or a collective alive. I think there might be something like their end goal is to bring about Kier or the board in some way. Like all the Egans are going to be coming back in a big one. I think it has to deal with either through cloning or through consciousness, moving a consciousness to another body. I don't know. Something along that
Altered carbon.
Altered carbon shit. Some sleeves, you know?
Yeah.
What about you, Kit?
I don't know. Like I said, we talked about them. Obviously, they've been kind of programmed in some way to what they call aligning their tempers, which is why they are all kind of weird like that. But I don't know. I no longer think that's necessarily what MDR has been doing. I'm not sure. Something that's greatest moments in history of this planet that's a tall order.
But I feel like that Lumen would say that about any project, you know?
They made a new type of Band-Aid. They got to the secret high score of that Kier video game that they play. I really enjoyed the way that they kind of go through his performance review, how he's like, there are 3 contentious reports.
From anonymous complaints.
Yeah. That was
So
one.
it's Wong.
It has to be Huang.
Uses too many big words. And then he says, like, perchance may I colloquially, and it's like, no. Number 2, the paperclip installed back to front. It confuses you when you start reading the document. But yeah, so most of the stuff they're going to be talking about is the failures at the Ortbo and the fact that he has instituted kindness reforms.
Because I'm not Harmony Cobell.
Yeah, and again, so this is all his idea, like, oh, we should treat them like people and be kind to them and being a jailer. Like, I guess in the first episode when he's like, I'm not interested in being your jailer, like he was being kind of honest with that. Like, I like this sort of little bit of humanity that's creeping in under Milchick. It's really cool.
But as Mark gets to work on Cold Harbor, he gets like a severe pain and the photo blinks in and out. It's interesting. And that's when Milchick says, I'm tightening the leash, which is exactly what Mr. Drummond wants to hear. And then at which point we see him tighten the leash. Mark gets up to leave and he meets him in the elevator. I see you left work 6 minutes early. May I come in?
Come in.
And Mark is still feeling frothy. So he says, oh yeah, you're going to write that in the bullshit Gazette. Was that the newspaper you gave me? You know? And he's like, did you and Helly get a chance to catch up? Did you tell her that you fucked her outie at the Ortbo? Oh, shit.
He gets so close to him.
Yes, aggressively
like
close.
A centimeter, their noses are a centimeter apart. And I'm not going to lie.
I wouldn't give.
I would have thrown so much money at the screen. Like, kiss. Kiss.
And then, like you guys alluded to earlier, Helena is watching Mark leave. So she's still watching Mark. Devin is reading Rickon's new writing. Remember, this is what Lumen via Natalie has contracted him to write, like any friendly version of his work. And Devin points out, this is the literal opposite of what you said before.
Yeah.
He's writing propaganda now.
Yeah, your boss owns the clock, but you get to listen to the ticking, and
isn't that wonderful?
Should be happy.
Yeah. Oh my God! I was hyping Rickon up so much in the first season. Like, I think he's okay, dude, but he's continuing.
He's letting me down.
Welcome, guys. You've eaten some crow here. Not only is he just a weird creepo, but he's assisting fascism at the first turn for financial profit.
I love Devin here calling him out, and like people that speak plainly in shows like this are few and far between. But she's like, look, they hurt people, and if you're helping them hurt people, then you're hurting people.
It's a fiscal and creative opportunity for me.
My babe, it's a Trojan's horse that will beget a revolution if they listen to my ideas, but they aren't your ideas, Rickon. Come on, man.
They aren't.
Come on now. My babe, I will reflect on those words. But has this lifestyle lost its appeal to you? My guy, you're walking into the hornet's nest and kicking it. What are you doing? That's not right. You know it. You know it. You know it's not right,
Have you
Rickon.
considered I'm being paid for this? Outie Irv is touching his paintings. He takes them down, perhaps giving up because he's now been fired.
Oh, wait. I thought Outie Irv was being written off the show.
No, leave it in, you petty bastard. He's walking outside. He goes to the phone booth. To whom is he talking? We don't know. Probably not Ragabi. It's me again. They fired me. And then he sees that
they knew what my innie was up to.
and they say Bert, or he sees Bert watching him. That's what I was trying to say. I kind of my robotic drive froze for a second. And he walks up to Bert and says, "Why are you following me?" I fucking love this scene. I got this thing. When someone shows up on my doorstep screaming my name, I want to know why. Call it a quirk. Only he could have delivered that line with so much stank but charm at the same time. Call it a quirk.
As soon as he said, "I got this thing," like, oh, we're getting Christopher Walken, baby. Here we go.
And like, I want to know, as a writer, do you know it's Christopher Walken? So you say, start it with, "I got this thing." Yeah. Or does he read a normal line and go, "I got this thing"? Like,
he Walkens it up.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I don't know. I want to know. Do they, at this point, it's 50 years into his career, the writers probably, they write Walken
They
lines.
wrote that, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But like, I don't know.
I don't want to say this.
Chicken or the egg. We'll never know. Well, somebody knows. But Bert was also fired, right? I was also canned. I had an unsanctioned erotic entanglement. What's his husband's name? Fields? Yeah. Fields, my husband.
So.
I think you should come over.
Milwaukee trip.
Have a ham.
I was so suspicious of this, where he's like, I got canned for this unsanctioned erotic entanglement, and then you show up. Maybe we were an item. Fields thinks so. You want to come to dinner and hang out with us?
Well, yeah. What do you think? It's like a three-way situation?
No, I don't know. I kind of, maybe it's because they're filming Bert to be a little like, oh, he's shady in the shadows and all this stuff. I wonder if like outie Bert's not on the up and up, and maybe he's like luring him into a trap or something.
No,
I don't know. That's why I love this show.
We
it's
love
like,
Outie Bert.
What's Outie Bert doing?
This is the only little bit of Outie Bert that we got, and he makes the joke about like, "You want to ride? I know where you live." And then he's like, "I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding."
He was.
What was he like, Andy?
I'm just kidding.
Oh, was that the joke that he really doesn't? He was just trying to seem
No,
scary?
he does know where he lives, but he's just being funny. You know?
Yeah, but it did seem a little ominous.
Yeah,
in the context.
That's the joke.
Yeah, right.
I love it. I love Outie Bert. He's on the up and up.
Yeah.
Do you like wine? Red wine? It's expensive.
No. He says we like red wine, the expensive kind, meaning that's what you bring.
Yeah.
Oh.
Like he
dinner party.
He totally took control of that. Like, we got the ham, you bring the drugs. Fields, he'll go skiing.
He likes to watch.
Fields. Oh, good scene.
Fields.
What necklaces were Gabi looking at? Are we just supposed to know that that's Casey's or Miss Casey or Gemma's rather?
I don't know. I didn't see anything initially when I was trying to look up to see what that necklace was. I assume
it just looks like a box of generic Gemma stuff, but I didn't know if we were supposed to know what that was.
Maybe we are, but I couldn't figure out why.
She wanted eggnog at the store, but there wasn't any.
It's out of season.
Mm-hmm.
Why do you want eggnog, girl?
And Mark's got, cremated remains of what he thought was his wife that is just a stranger. Like, wait, who's in there, right? Well, but Lumen has context at the morgue. It's the town is Kier. Everybody's on the payroll, right? And he says, "Are they hurting her?" Mm-hmm. I don't know.
Heartbreaking.
I don't know. And then he finally hears Miss Casey's voice.
You're outie.
He has all these memories. Fuck.
Can parallel park in 20 seconds.
That look on Mark's, my voice broke, on Mark's face as he sees his wife down there.
Oh my God. Yeah.
You can't imagine. You spent 2 years or whatever mourning your wife. You're so in love, so devastated. You go on a date. You finally start to see like a light at the end of the tunnel. Like he likes that. What's her name?
Alexis?
Alexis. Yeah. He had a great time with Alexis. Oh, she's alive. She's been kidnapped. Well, something crazy's going on. And now you can like remember seeing her recently.
She's telling you that your Audi pays its gas and electric bill in free business days.
Your Audi once captured a butterfly.
It's not even the content of what she's saying. It's just the fact that she's talking.
I 100% agree with you. Like the whole lead up to that scene is so good because he's in the break room hallway. Mm-hmm. And I thought they were going to replay that scene from the first season where the two of them pass each other in that hallway. Mm-hmm. But then he goes to the door and he like peeks out and he sees the Lumen hallways, I assume for the first time. And then boom, she's right there. and just his face, like, and then it cuts because she's like, you're outie, and then it ends, and it's like, oh.
It cuts to him like back at home starting to cry and shit.
Yeah, that's rough, man. I feel so bad for him in that moment.
I just went, fuck.
It's just now he knows.
She's definitely down there. He's not having a third-hand account. He has a memory of her down there.
But now it is time for our Kier's 3 mandates. But right before we get to that, just one more quick word from one of our sponsors.
Hello, Stream Fiends. It is the month of February. That's right. I really enunciate the R in February. It's a weird quirk of mine. No apologies will be given, but a huge shout of thanks and gratitude will be given to all of our patrons here at Streaming Things. But I want to give a special shout out to our super patrons for the month of February. So thank you to Alex, Aubrey Carell, Daniel Pack, Nice Guy Eddie, Tulloon, Jordan Garvin, Albus Stinkpot, Haley, Maddlestat, Susie Callahan, Anthony Corona, Jim X, Lady Trashley, Sean Myers, Just Liz Calabria, Mike from New Hampshire, Brett X, E. Scramo, Lil Tickler, Svento7, Jay Scramo, Bluff Pump, AK Ashley Ray, Adam Busby, Big Butthorn, Jer Latanowicz, Kaylee Sampson, Rabbit Dog in a Barbie Car, Elbander, Charlie Friday, Alexis Adler, Peaches, Emmy, Haley B, Joe Velez, Trisha Bueller, Sun-Loving Mortal, Suzanne Rode, Jadinklage Morgoon, Chloe, Kalisha Reeves, Paula Garcia, Brenda, Aaron Armstrong, Kevin Strother, Ashley Powers, The Thrift Creeper, Casey McCain, and of course, Enza. And with that, let's get back to the show. I love you.
And we're back. It's time for Kier's 3 mandates, our top 3 favorite moments of episode 4. Andy, I am curious what you put for number 3.
My number 3 is Devin confronting Rickon about his work. I love her speaking plainly. Look, you're fucking hurting people. And like Rickon's trying to justify it and be like, you know, this is a Trojan's horse. It's going to start a revolution. And she's like, yeah, but these aren't your words. This is propaganda and you're fucking hurting people. I love Devin.
But my babe, have you thought about the money?
You hadn't.
Okay, I'm going to bed.
My number 3 is Milchick getting into Mark's face in the elevator because I ship that. But also because like I really like the tension of the scene where Mark's still going like he's being snarky, you know, he's like, oh yeah, love productive work days, praise Kier. You know, like he's just laying it on thick that he just hates this guy, he hates this company, he's not about it. But then when Milchick just gets right up in his face and he's like, did you tell Helly that you fucked her out at the Ortbo? Helena Egan, leader in waiting, leader of this company. Huh, have fun with that. Have a restful evening. Like just Milchick just putting him on notice. Like, dude, I'm on to your shit. I'm going to tighten that leash.
How does he know? Could he hear it?
Oh, like when they were having sex? Well, in the episode, it looked like they're having tender, loving sex, but it was loud.
Well, no, because Irving could hear the moaning all the way in the woods.
Milchick and Miss Hong are just like down the hill like, Jesus Christ.
How did we not see this coming?
Like, I'm so fucking fired.
Dylan's in his tent like, is that the sky? What is that?
Yeah. Gosh, there's like 5 great moments. My number 3 is the performance review. I love Tramel Tillman's. I think he's doing multitudes in this episode specifically, but in this scene, he's so angry and righteously so at all kinds of injustice, but also got to toe the line, a little nervous about the position. They just let go of Cobell, and I think he's a dangerous person, even compared to somebody like Mr. Drummond and stuff. And we're going to get to see that, and that's going to be great. I think they're fucking with the wrong one. That's my prediction. But that's my number 3. Andy, your number 2.
My number 2 is Helly confronting Mark in the hallway when she's like, look, we can fucking work together. I'm me, yada, yada. And Mark kind of being like, no, they're smarter than us. I can't fucking trust you. This is over. But I especially loved at the end of that, the Helly, the stop being such a fucking asshole. Like, because that's the first real Helly moment that we got this season.
Yeah.
And it just felt good to have her back, you know?
That's my number 2 as well. For everything you just said, I just really like that scene because it's so heartbreaking because we know, well, we assume that's the real actual Helly, And it's like, I can't imagine being in the situation that she's in, where like someone literally stole her life and wreck shop, and just the hurt that has. But then also, like, I can't imagine being in Mark's situation of thinking that you're progressing this relationship with someone you care about, finding out it's not really them. It's like the enemy, quote unquote, and like sleeping with them and thinking it was them, and the guilt, but also like the hurt that comes with that betrayal. Like, I can't imagine what he's going through with that situation as well. So it's just like two people that you just want to hug and be like, guys, it'll be okay. That's my number 2.
That's my number 2 as well.
Ooh.
Yeah, I love this moment. I think it's fascinating to think about Helly's perspective and how devastating that would be, and how confusing, and Mark very understandably upset, but like taking it out on Helly in a way that really neither of them deserve, and her being like, well, you just have to try, it just all works so well. It's such a fascinating moment. I loved it. Andy, your favorite moment of episode 4?
When Helly arrives back to the severed floor, they go to Milchick's office, the Glockschluben story.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I fucking love that. And there's like all these people talking over each other. Helly's like, she fucking took my body, and Dylan keeps being like, where the fuck's Irv? Is he fucking dead? Is he coming back at all? And that bit of honesty from Milchick, like, no, he's not coming back. It's like, you're a fucking murderer and stuff. There's just so much going on in that scene, but all of that to be punctuated by Milchick. Have you heard the story of the Glockschluben? It is so fucking goofy and awesome.
Steve? I love how in this episode, instead of naming the episode the Glockschluben, they went with Trojan's horse.
Yeah.
Which is kind of a similar metaphor, but it's just kind of funny that they went with the Rickon line instead of the Glockschluben line. My favorite moment is Mark seeing Gemma at the very, very end. Like, that is such a big doozy of an ending, because he has irrefutable proof. He has a memory now of his wife down there, and he's not just going off of the goodwill word of a Petey or Ragabi or anyone else's sort of his outie self that he wasn't actually present for, being told that. That's a huge game changer for him, and I'm really excited to see where that goes. And I was getting a little choked up at the end when he finally sees her, and then it ends, and that's the last time he like the vision goes away. Like, that's one of those moments where I'm sure he was like, no, please come back. Like, that's heartbreaking. So that's my number 1.
My number 1 is the memory of Gemma. The look on Mark's face, Adam Scott, devastated me. I lost sleep over it. It's like that other scene with Helly. It's just crazy to think about and put yourself in that position. And unimaginable amount of confusion and pain, and acted very well. I can see the depths of that, which brings us to our Waffle Party recipient. We get to nominate our favorite performance of the episode.
Who's getting the Waffle Party?
Give them a Waffle Party. Andy?
Tremel Tillman. I think that the performance review, the confrontation in the elevator, the Glockschluben story. There's just so much going on.
You're not saying it right.
Yes, I am. Glockschluben. Yeah, he just had so much to work with in this episode, and as always, he crushed it.
This show gets progressively harder and harder to pick a Waffle Party recipient, because everyone's crushing on all levels, every single scene. I want to give a special a shout out to Britt Lauer, because I think she is putting some incredible, amazing work into this episode as well. Having to play Helena in the beginning, and then the switch to Helly on the severed floor, and just being confused, like, what the fuck's happening? Why are you mad at me? I think she plays that so well. But I'm also going to give it to Tremel Tillman, because I think he's doing some real subtle but like deep, juicy, quiet acting. And like, I'm just transfixed on any scene he's on. Like, he's a show stealer for me, and so I'm giving him the Waffle Party as well.
Even.
Yeah, it's definitely. He'd wreck this home.
Guys, everybody.
Everybody.
I'm also giving it to Tremel Tillman. He gets the Waffle Party. I will be dread, malice, and definitely frolic at that Waffle Party. Incredible acting. You guys said everything there is to say, and that's all there is to say. Tune in next week for more Severance.
My God, you've got a wellness session. You've earned it. You keep trying to rush through it, but kid, I know the best sort of help is self-help, and let me give that to you, okay? Because you remember, Your outies are very special. They're truly remarkable people. These facts should give you great satisfaction. So just relax, keep your mind open. Let's appreciate each fact equally. Let me turn on the nature sounds. Here we go. Can you listen? Can you hear it? Let me turn on that diffuser so you can get some nice scents. I put in the scent you like most, Andy. Yeah, Axe body spray. Who would like to hear their outie facts first?
I'll do it.
Kit
L.
Look at me. Your outie has a favorite constellation and points out every chance they get.
So Ryan.
Andy, these are not your facts. Your outie once won a game of rock, paper, scissors 10 times in a row. That's a hot streak. Your outie received an unsolicited compliment from a toddler. Your outie once received an anonymous letter that simply said, "You were right." What is that in relation to? Ooh. And lastly, your outie once stared at a goat for exactly 5 minutes, and the goat blinked first. Those are your facts from your outie this week.
Thank you.
How does that make you feel? Do you feel better?
I appreciate all of them equally.
Thank you. Andy,
Yes.
it's time for your wellness check. Are you ready?
Yes.
All right. Keep your mind open. Let these facts wash over you. Your outie can identify every kind of pasta by name. Your outie has a playlist titled Songs for Staring Out of Windows. Your outie is frequently chosen to taste test homemade cookies. Your outie is legally allowed to duel in 3 separate counties, but has never exercised this right. And lastly, your outie once found an unmarked key and has carried it ever since, just in case.
That's true. Do you guys have like a collection of keys that are like, this probably goes to something?
Yeah, I've got a couple of those.
I got a bunch of them.
I unlock things.
How does that feel? Does knowing those facts make you feel more
relaxed,
whole?
rejuvenated,
Good.
obliging.
You guys earned that wellness session. Obliging.
Thank you so much, wellness counselor Casey M. I made it up. It's a mix of May and Casey, and I did my best. Fuck you.
I was gonna say like Armad.
Oh no,
Casey?
No, different Casey M. I get why you were looking at me funny. At first, I was like, "Oh,
She does a lot for the show."
No. That was all you, baby. Tune in next week for more Severance. But tomorrow begins our Yellow Jackets season 3 coverage.
Yeah.
And then Monday, another Yellow Jackets episode because they're dropping 2 today as we speak. So every Monday from here on out will be Yellow Jackets. Every Friday will be Severance. And then in the middle of the week on the Patreon, you'll get Arcane and Game of Thrones. Woo! Lots of good stuff.
Shit.
Lots of good stuff, guys. Thank you so much for being a part of this. That's all the time we have for right now. My name is Kit L.
I'm Andy C.
And I'm Steve M.
Thank you so much. This has been Streaming Things. Streaming. Fuck you. Severance.
Happy streaming.
Happy streaming. For whatever reason, she thinks that like Mark is like the second coming of Kier, and that's why she's obsessed with him.